Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Today's video is on a journey. What type of journey? Well, there's different types of journeys we all take in life, right? There's different types of paths we all take. We all take different paths. Everyone's unique. No one's the same as no one's the same as another person, right? No one can be you as good as you. If there was a competition to see who could act like you the best, you'd win it every single time, no matter what, because you're authentic. And we all have different paths and journeys, but this video is about embracing the journey, right? Embracing the long path that you have, the long embarking on it. I can't think of another word for journey, but it's all about getting to a certain place. But what I actually think is not true at all is that you never actually get to a certain place in your life. You're not gonna get to a certain place in your life where you're like, oh yeah, my journey's done, I'm good, I can just relax now. It's never gonna be like that, because in life we gotta keep on striving for more. There's no such thing as staying at the middle. Like, there's no way of being just staying where you're at. You're either moving up or you're moving down. You're either getting worse or you're getting better. No matter what. You can't now at first it might seem like you're just staying at the same level, you're plateauing, but if you're truly not trying to get better, during your journey, you're gonna slowly decline, right? Now obviously it's not gonna happen right away. You're not gonna overnight just lose everything, right? Because when a kingdom falls, right, it doesn't fall right away. It doesn't overnight. It just isn't just over, right? But it slowly declines. It slowly loses land and all of that, and then at one point it'll just fall, right? Same with getting better. You won't be an overnight success. You won't work for a week and then be like, oh my gosh, I made it, I'm successful. No, that's not how it works. That'll never happen. You won't make $1 million in a month. It's not gonna happen. In your first year of trying to become rich, you won't make $1 million in a month, year. You won't. It just won't happen. I'm just telling you, the universe, God, it won't let you. He won't let you. It won't let you. You gotta work for it, right? So you always have to constantly keep on getting better. And that's what the journey is really about. The journey isn't really a destination. It's an ongoing path. It's like a highway. You're always on the highway. You're always going to you're always on the highway. You're always going straight. And there's different exits you can take, right? You know the song Life is a Highway? It's true. You can keep on going. Now there's different exits you can take. You can take exits at certain types of, you can merge or whatever it is. I don't drive. But you can go to a different exit, right? And when you start driving, there'll be different types of exits. And those exits, for example, those, in real life, those exits are supposed to symbolize you stopping something. So, for example, say you went to the gym, right? And you've been working out for a good month, and you got a decent stature. You're getting a little fit, right? There's an exit you could take where you stop going to the gym and you start eating bad, right? There's an exit you could take, for example, if you're making a business, right? If you have a $100,000 6-figure business, right? And you're like, you know what? I'm done. I'm just gonna chill the rest of my life. You could take that exit. You stop improving your business, but you have a 6-figure business and you're just making that amount of money, and you're gonna be making that amount of money for the rest of your life, right? Well, actually, if you can maintain it. If you can't maintain it, then it's yes, but that's a different video. Anyways, but life is a highway, right? And on the highway, you're not going to be able to go, you're not going to always be able to go super fast. So like, you're not going to be able to go 150 miles down the highway. You're going to have to go speed limit, because during the speed limit, if you go past the speed limit, you get, what happens? Cop pulls you over, right? And that's like making a mistake. So if you go too fast, you're going to make mistakes no matter what if you drive on the highway for a long enough time. It's just going to happen. But if you go too fast, you're going to get caught by a cop. You're going to make a mistake. It's going to set you back. You're going to be stopped. You're going to have to pay a price for it. Like, for example, a ticket, but you're going to have to pay a price for it. You'd also go to jail, which is a different type of price, which is worse, for making a bigger mistake on the highway, right? And then there's also another way you could do it. You could get in trouble if you hit another person's car. You interfere with someone else's journey, right? Which actually hurts their journey, but even hurts yours even more. And you gotta pay. I don't know if it's karma or something, but you gotta pay. You're gonna get punished for crashing or interfering with their journey, and you're gonna have a price to pay, whatever it is, however it is, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But life is a journey. Like, you actually got to realize that you're in this for. You got to be an active participant in life. You got to be an active player. Like, you can't just sit there and be like, and just do nothing. You can't do anything. The worst thing you could do is do nothing, because that's actually where you're getting the worst. If you're doing something that's bad that you don't know is bad, you're going to make a mistake, but you're going to learn a lesson. If you're doing something good that's good for you, then you're going to get better. If you fail, you learn something. If you succeed, well, you succeed. It's simple, but you really need to focus, right? And what the most important thing that you need to have on your journey is patience. You need to have patience and consistency. If you don't have those, if you can't, now obviously you're going to develop them. If you keep on going and actually trying your butt off, you're going to gain those just naturally, because that's just how it works. But if you don't have those, if you can't build that, you're going to take exits. You're going to take exits off the highway, or you're going to interfere with someone else's journey. You're going to crash your car, or you're going to make tons of mistakes. You're going to get pulled over, right? So you got to be really careful. And obviously, you can also crash. Let's say you hit something, like you went off the road and you crash. So you hit something else. That's you making a mistake because of you, right? But on this journey of life, right, you're gonna be caused by a lot of setbacks. You're gonna get pulled over. You're gonna get pulled over in your life. And I'm not saying like actually in a car, but you're gonna have setbacks. You're gonna have challenges to set you back. You're gonna make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you're not a human being. You're not a human being unless you're Jesus. Are you Jesus? No. So you just gotta be an active participant. You gotta stay consistent. You gotta be patient. You gotta be thinking about, like, how can I excel my journey? How can I make my journey more exciting, right? And when you try to figure that out, you realize that the farther you go on the journey, the more exciting, the more you embrace it, the more you like it. When you first start a journey, you're gonna be like, yeah, let's go, and then you're gonna hit a bump, and you're gonna be like, oh, it sucks. Then you're gonna hit another bump, it's gonna suck even more, and then another bump's gonna suck even more. And after you hit a certain amount of bumps, you'll be so used to it that you'll start enjoying everything, a part of it. And it's not even about you making a checkpoint or objective or a goal. It's just you enjoying the journey and what it has to bring every single day. And I think that's the goal in life. The goal in life is being able to not focus on one thing that's way up here when you're down here, but focus on what's in between that. What can I do to do that, right? And as I slowly climb to the top, you won't even realize that you just did what you always wanted to do, right? You just have to be patient. you have to focus on yourself. You focus on your own journey. Being used to having delayed gratification, not worrying about not instant gratification, because when you take the exits, you have you get at instant gratification. But delayed gratification is when you stay on the highway and you keep on going. Once you do that, you'll truly find happiness in whatever you're pursuing, and whatever long-term goal you have, you'll find happiness in just the daily work that occurs. And you'll probably have more enjoyment from actually doing the daily work and doing the daily things than actually doing the or completing the task or goal you have to do, because it'll just feel so much better, because you'll realize I did all of that work to get here, but I learned that it's not about that I'm here now. It's the person that I become. It's not only that you get all these things on the journey. It's the person you become on the journey. If you have a very long journey and you are just resilient, you just don't stop and keep on going, you're going to build a lot of good habits. Your character is going to be a million times better, easily way better than it ever could be. And why? Because you stayed committed, you stayed focused and consistent on the journey. You stayed patient and knocked off all the pleasures, all the instant gratification, for delayed gratification, for being for showing self-control and not letting your mind succumb to the easy stuff, right? So just be patient, be very have lots of resilient, be really resilient. Don't ever stop. Yes, you're gonna have to get gas, you're gonna have to go refuel, you're gonna have to get gas sometimes, right? You need breaks. Everyone needs breaks. If there's people like, I don't take any breaks, they're lying. They're lying. There's not people who don't take breaks. Everybody takes breaks, right? Because you need to refuel, you need to replenish, right? But you should be working 80% of the time, or 90% of the time you should be running or driving, whatever it is. Whatever you want to see the journey as. You should be doing that. 10% of the time should be you refueling. That's what I think. That's what the journey really consists of. It's 90% work, 10% rest. That's honestly what it is. There's nobody who can work 100% work, 0% rest. It's impossible. You're gonna burn out. Or you're gonna be so miserable that even completing it won't even feel good, or the journey just won't be worth it. And people, you'll quit. But then also you gotta realize, if you rest more than you work, your progress is gonna be so slow that you'll feel so unmotivated that you'll just be like, it's taking forever, I'm done with this, I'm not doing it, I'm gonna go take an exit, right? You gotta have a 90-80% work, and then 20%, 10% rest. And that's what I feel like excels you most on the journey. So just remember, life is a journey, it's a highway. You can keep on going, you can exit whenever you want to. You're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna make mistakes for yourself, you're gonna make mistakes with other people, you're just going to be set back. You're gonna fail until you succeed. And once you succeed, you'll forget all the other failures. But in that time, you gotta stay down, keep your head down. Don't be prideful. Be focused, be consistent, and last but not least, be patient. Thank y'all for listening. Have a great and blessed day. Just remember, God always loves you. Peace.